This exploration reveals that the most potent tool against aging may not be a modern invention, but a movement deeply encoded in our very biology, the deep squat. This primal pattern, once as natural as breathing to our ancestors who lived in close connection to the earth, has been systematically erased by modern comforts like chairs and sofas. We are taught to see it as unnecessary or risky, yet the true danger lies in losing the ability to perform it altogether. This loss marks the real beginning of aging, not with wrinkles but with a slow surrender to stiffness, pain and dependence. The magic of the deep squat is its profound simplicity. In one fluid motion, it engages the entire body, from glutes and core to spine and circulation, acting as a silent hymn to vitality. But its power extends far beyond the physical. Culturally, from the indigenous peoples of Africa and the Americas to the traditions of Asia, it was a symbol of humility, connection to the earth, and a conduit for vital energy or qi. Philosophically, thinkers like Hippocrates understood that movement preserves us, and the squat embodies this principle. The capacity to lower oneself and rise again is a testament to resilience and the very power of life. The uncomfortable truth is that by surrounding ourselves with comfort, we have weakened our bodies and forgotten this essential wisdom. True youth is not reflected in a mirror, but in a body that moves with fluidity and autonomy. The deep squat is the hidden jewel that reclaims this, offering not just a physical exercise but a spiritual ritual of humility and rebirth. It reminds us that anti-aging is not about adding complex solutions, but about returning to the simple, powerful movements our bodies have always known, restoring our connection to the ground and to our own inherent vitality. Physically, this movement involves nearly every system in the body. As you lower into a deep squat, you activate your legs, glutes, hips, and core. Your back works to maintain alignment, your ankles regain mobility, and your blood circulation is intensely stimulated. It is like switching on a complete energy circuit that travels through every muscle and every joint. There is no other exercise so simple and yet so profoundly integral. But the most profound changes occur on the inside. With each descent, abdominal pressure is regulated, and your internal organs receive a natural, gentle massage. The intestines are activated, digestion improves, and the diaphragm finds a broader range to expand. In other words, the body is not only strengthened, it is cleansed. This is why in traditional Chinese medicine, similar postures were recommended to promote longevity. It wasn't about sculpting muscles, but about maintaining the flow of vital qi, keeping it free and abundant. Now, if we look at this movement through a spiritual prism, we discover even more layers of meaning. The deep squat represents the act of lowering yourself toward the earth, only to rise again. It is a physical ritual of humility and resurgence. In each descent, you acknowledge your roots. You return to the earth, to the essential, to the origin. In each ascent, you are reborn, as if rising from the ashes with more strength and more clarity. To practice it is, in a way, to repeat the eternal cycle of death and rebirth that runs through all existence. What is fascinating is that this gesture also works on an energetic level. By opening the hips and ankles, you unblock areas where we commonly accumulate tension and unresolved emotions. The yoga tradition teaches that the hips are storehouses of emotional memory. By moving them, by opening them, by giving them space, those memories begin to release. This is why many people feel a sense of relief, even an urge to cry, when practicing deep squats. The body speaks, and the movement becomes a pathway for catharsis. We can think of this exercise as a hidden fountain of youth. It is not a potion or a miracle. It is a movement pattern that awakens in the body the memory of what it means to be fully alive. By practicing it consistently, the body remembers what it has forgotten: how to move without pain, how to support itself without fear, how to flow with gravity instead of fighting against it. Furthermore, the deep squat trains something that is rarely mentioned in the modern world of fitness: self-confidence. Someone who can squat down without fear of falling, who can remain near the ground and rise with ease, retains not only mobility, but autonomy. And autonomy is one of the purest forms of freedom. Not depending on a cane or the help of others for life's basic gestures is, in itself, an antidote to old age. So what seems like a simple exercise is, in reality, an alchemical movement that unites the physical, the energetic, and the spiritual. A practice that, beyond toning or strengthening, reminds us that the secret to longevity is not about adding more, but about returning to the essential. We have come to understand that the deep squat is far more than a physical exercise. It is a gesture laden with symbolism, regenerative power, and spiritual connection. Yet there are subtler nuances that deserve our attention, for what many believe to be a simple movement can become a profound practice of self-discovery when performed with full awareness. One of the most surprising aspects is that the difficulty in performing a deep squat is not natural, it is cultural. The human body is designed for it. Small children do it with total ease, without training or effort. But in modern societies, an excess of chairs and a lack of contact with the ground have atrophied that innate ability. What should be a basic movement pattern is now perceived as a near impossible challenge for millions of adults. And therein lies a hard truth. We have not aged simply because the years pass, but because we have forgotten how to move as we were destined to move. Another important nuance is the contradiction between comfort and longevity. We surround ourselves with soft sofas, high chairs, and plush beds, all designed to make life easier. But in that comfort lies the trap. By reducing the body's effort, we weaken it. The deep squat reminds us that true comfort is not found in avoiding effort, but in maintaining the capacity to perform it. It is a call to return to the ground, to contact with the earth, to that space where life is sustained by simplicity. There is also a seldom explored energetic aspect, the deep squat as a portal for grounding. In an accelerated world, we live with our energy dispersed upward, trapped in our minds and our worries. By lowering into a squat, you literally direct your energy downward toward the earth, strengthening your root chakra, the center that provides us with stability, security, and connection to the material world. It is like a grounding wire for your spirit, discharging what is superfluous and recharging what is essential. There is even a deep emotional nuance. Many people experience discomfort holding the posture, not only from physical stiffness, but because the body stores memories in the hips, knees, and ankles. This discomfort is an invitation to let go. Every second spent in a deep squat is an act of courage. You sit with your discomfort, you observe it, you breathe, and you gradually transform it into strength. Finally, it is necessary to understand that the deep squat does not seek aesthetic perfection. It is not a gym movement meant solely to sculpt glutes or legs. It is a daily ritual. It is about drinking from the spring of mobility, about remembering that you are still capable of lowering and raising yourself under your own power. That simple capacity can mark the difference between aging with limitations or aging with dignity, freedom, and vitality. In summary, the deep squat is not a whim or a trend. It is the ancestral medicine we have ignored, a practice that returns to us what modernity stole, connection to the ground, to the body, and to life itself. The secret of anti-aging is not found in expensive creams or miracle capsules. It is, as it always has been, in simplicity. The body possesses its own alchemy, but it needs us to remember the gestures that keep it alive. The deep squat should not be a challenge, it should be an everyday skill. And reclaiming this posture can become a journey of physical and spiritual transformation. Here is how you can make this movement an easy-to-apply routine in your life. First, start where you are. It does not matter if today you can only lower yourself a few inches. The process is not about forcing, but about gently reminding your body of what it already knew how to do. Sit on a low chair and practice standing up without using your hands. Use support if you need to, but do it with intention. Every day you try, you remind your muscles and joints of their original purpose. Second, make the squat a daily habit. Do not reserve it only for a workout. Integrate the posture into your life. When you pick something up from the floor, do it in a deep squat instead of bending your back. When you want to rest, try staying in this position for a few seconds instead of immediately seeking a chair. At first, it will be uncomfortable, but with time, your body will recognize it as its natural home for movement. Third, breathe into the posture. The key is not only to lower yourself, but to remain there and breathe consciously. Feel how your hips expand, how your ankles relax, how your diaphragm finds a wider space to move. Imagine that each inhalation in that position is a sip of vital energy and that each exhalation releases accumulated tensions back into the earth. Fourth, use the posture as meditation. Do not see the deep squat only as physical exercise. Transform it into a meditative ritual. Place your hands together in front of your heart. Close your eyes and remain in silence. Observe what arises: discomfort, stiffness, thoughts. The posture teaches you patience and humility. You will discover that maintaining your balance close to the ground also brings balance to your mind. Fifth, make the floor your ally. Get closer to it in your daily life. Sit on the floor to read, watch television, or spend time with your family. Alternating between the floor and the squatting posture will strengthen your hips and knees without you even noticing. Remember, every minute you spend away from the ground is a minute you spend forgetting your natural design. Sixth, celebrate every bit of progress. Do not seek perfection. Celebrate every extra second you can hold the posture, every centimeter you manage to lower yourself, every time your body responds with greater fluidity. Progress in the deep squat is not measured in muscle, but in freedom regained. The true teaching is that you need not reinvent anything. You only need to remember. The deep squat is the body's original language, and every time you practice it, you awaken the ancestral memory of vitality. Make it your daily ally, and you will discover that anti-aging is not a myth, but a natural consequence of living in harmony with your own design. We have journeyed from the ancient roots of humanity to the present day, revealing a secret the modern world has relegated to oblivion: the deep squat. The movement that 99% of people ignore, yet one that can define the difference between aging with stiffness and living with vitality. The most astonishing thing of all is its sheer simplicity. It requires no gym memberships, no expensive equipment, no complex programs. It is within everyone's reach, anywhere, at any time. The gesture of lowering yourself toward the earth and rising again contains the very alchemy of youth. It strengthens muscles, liberates joints, stimulates internal organs, and awakens the vital energy that flows through the body like a luminous river. But beyond the physical benefits, the deep squat offers us a spiritual lesson. Life is a constant cycle of descending and being reborn. Every time you lower yourself, you accept the humility of returning to the earth. Every time you rise, you celebrate the strength of getting up again. This posture is a reminder that it does not matter how many times you fall in life. What is essential is to maintain the capacity to rise again with dignity. Aging, understood from an esoteric wisdom, is not merely the passage of years, but the loss of connection with the essential. When we stop moving as we were designed to move, when we distance ourselves from the ground, we begin to forget our roots. And in that forgetting, we age prematurely. Reclaiming the deep squat is not just a physical act. It is a return to the ancestral memory of what it means to be alive. Now, the decision rests in your hands. You can continue to ignore this secret, searching externally for remedies that never truly arrive, or you can dare to rediscover what your body has always known how to do. It does not matter if it is difficult at first, if you need support, or if discomfort appears. Every attempt is a victory. Every second closer to the ground is a step toward freedom. Imagine your life 20 or 30 years from now. How do you want to arrive at that stage? With stiffness, dependence, and pain, or with the ability to move fluidly, to bend down and stand up without fear, to live with dignity and autonomy? The answer lies in a gesture so simple that most people overlook it, but one you have now rediscovered. Remember, true anti-aging is not about denying the passage of time, but about living each year with a fullness of movement and energy. The deep squat is the key that returns that possibility to you. If this knowledge has resonated with you, do not keep it to yourself. I invite you to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and share this video with those you love, because every person who remembers this ancestral secret will hold in their hands the opportunity to reclaim their vitality and transform their future. Time will pass for everyone, but how we experience it depends on our choices. Today, you have discovered a powerful one: to return to the movement that conserves life itself.